Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're exploring a deeply cinematic and, honestly, an incredibly powerful story. And no, it's not some blockbuster script written in Hollywood. It's actually a narrative written over literally billions of years. We're talking about the story of our planet, told through this massive symphony of survival, connection, and, ultimately, hope.
I want you to take a brief moment and truly imagine this. What if the Earth could speak? If the ground beneath your feet, the air in your lungs, and the water in the ocean suddenly just found a voice, what exactly would it say?
Okay, let's dive into this. Because if we reframe our planet, not just as this giant rock floating through space, but as an active, living storyteller, the sheer volume of history and experience it holds is just staggering. The thing is, our planet is constantly telling us a story. It's this deeply poetic contrast that actually surrounds us right now. You've got the quiet, steady whisper of ancient forests that have been standing tall for centuries, set right against the loud, completely untamed roar of powerful oceans. And these aren't just background noises. They're the continuous, rolling chapters of Earth's ongoing narrative.
Section 1. If the Earth could speak, the only known world. We really have to start with this foundational idea. As far as we know, right now, this is the absolute only world that actually supports life.
You look around and the sheer diversity is wild. We've got vast, deep oceans, towering, jagged mountains, dense, breathing forests, and endless, quiet deserts. But the absolute key takeaway here is that these aren't just isolated zones. Together, they form this massive, yet surprisingly delicate system where literally everything is connected. It's like a giant puzzle.
Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds nature's delicate balance, an interconnected system.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how interconnected our own survival really is. Think about it for a second. The breathable air we need every single moment, that comes directly from our forests and oceans. The rivers cutting through the land, they act exactly like arteries, pumping life and vital resources across entire continents. And honestly, perhaps most incredibly, it's the tiny insects, the ones we usually just ignore or swat away, that are busy pollinating the plants that literally feed millions of people. Massive ecosystems and tiny bugs, the whole shebang, all working together in perfect sync to keep us alive.
It really is a perfect harmony. Every living thing plays a role in maintaining nature's balance. And that's so true. Every single living creature, no matter how immense or completely microscopic, has a crucial job to do. They all play an absolutely irreplaceable role in maintaining this perfect balance.
However, we're entering Section 3 now. Signals of a changing planet, the dissonance. The symphony is kind of changing its tune here, and the story definitely requires our urgent focus.
But this balance is changing. That right there is a powerful anchor for us. We are pivoting from that perfect harmony we just talked about into a period of pretty undeniable disruption.
So the crucial point is that this disruption is highly visible all across the globe. We're seeing shrinking habitats everywhere. Glaciers are melting so much faster than they ever have. Vast forests are rapidly disappearing. And because of all this, a lot of species are waking up to find their homes just gone, leaving them struggling just to survive. And you know what? The Earth isn't staying silent about this either. It's actively sending us warning signals. Those signals manifest physically as rising temperatures across the globe, significantly stronger and way more destructive storms, and rapidly changing ecosystems.
We can think of these events as echoes. And actually, this definition is so incredibly important to grasp. These are not just random, isolated events happening in a vacuum. These echoes are direct reminders that every single action we take leaves a very real impact on the world around us. It's literally cause and effect, playing out on a massive planetary scale.
But hey, this explainer is definitely not a tragedy. Let's brighten our focus a bit for Section 4, a story of resilience, humanity, and nature.
Because all around the planet, there is some immense human action taking place. You've got scientists working tirelessly to discover new ways to preserve vulnerable ecosystems. You have local communities rallying together to protect their natural resources and clean up polluted waterways. And we're seeing young people actively leading these incredibly energetic movements to secure a greener, sustainable future. It's a massive, collective effort to protect wildlife and build sustainable tech.
Now, what's really interesting is seeing exactly how nature responds to that help. Nature is remarkably resilient. When we take a step back and actually give it the opportunity, an amazing sequence unfolds. First, the forests start to regrow. Then, the rivers recover their health. and finally the wildlife naturally returns. There's this beautiful, almost unstoppable momentum to nature's recovery once it gets going.
And that is exactly why it's so important to remember that Earth's story isn't just a story of daunting challenges. No way. It features heavy doses of renewal, incredible adaptation, and ultimately, genuine hope.
Which brings us to the final chapter of our explainer today, Section 5, Leaving a Positive Echo, Shaping the Story. We've seen how the Earth speaks and how it reacts, right? So the very next step is looking at our own personal role in shaping this story moving forward.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to everyday actions. It really doesn't always have to be some grand global gesture. Every single tree that is planted, every piece of waste you choose to recycle, and every local effort to protect nature, well, that directly writes the next hopeful chapter of Earth's story. And those actions, they ensure that the echoes we hear remain beautiful. Because the echoes of the Earth, they surround us every single day in the most ordinary yet completely magnificent ways. It's the rustling of leaves right above your head. It's the crashing of ocean waves against the shoreline. It's the songs of birds greeting a brand new dawn.
So we absolutely know the Earth is speaking. It tells us when it's thriving, and it sends out a warning when it's struggling. The Earth is speaking, but are we truly listening? And perhaps even more importantly, as you go about your day-to-day and make your own choices, what kind of echo will you leave behind for future generations? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it sparks